this way. That looks okay. Nope, I should button this up. Okay, one set in the way. Okay, hello. Some of you guys have been asking me for my skincare routine, and I'm about to go out right now, but I just took a shower anyway. Yeah, it's kind of weird that I took a shower and then I'm gonna go out, but it's because I didn't take a shower this morning and I didn't want to be all stanky. As one of my New Year's resolutions, I have been wanting to talk more in front of the camera rather than just showing you guys where I go and just inserting a bunch of clips, because I want to build more of a personality for myself rather than just being an awkward person. And I think this is also helping me find who I am and how I want to express myself. Let's get started. By the way, this is kind of just my nighttime routine because there's no sun out, but I will show you my daytime routine later when I have to do it tomorrow probably. I usually, as everyone should, start with a toner. I've been trying this new Propolis Energy Toner from CosRX. This is my first bottle. I just bought it because when I went to Olive Young, it looked like it had a lot of good reviews. Generally, CosRX products are pretty reliable from what I've heard. I used to use some other CosRX stuff, but I kind of stopped. To be honest, I don't know if this is working well for me. I used to use the I'm From Rice toner and it was a lot cheaper and it did the job, so I might switch back to that. Ever since like 1 or 2 months ago, my skin has been really horrible, probably because of the winter. That thing, it's just a lot of side pimples and also kind of under my chin too. It's gotten pretty bad. Like there's this thicky right here and it really hurts when I have to shave. But yeah, skin has not been doing great. I think it is also a result of being very stressed because I have just been thinking a lot about the future, what I'm doing. Just a bunch of big things coming up soon. The next thing I usually use is this essence from Abib. This I found because of my sister and she was using it at the time and she got me one. I usually use the Innisfree green tea leaf essence, or was it serum? I think it's essence.
Never mind, it's serum lol.
Quit being a little rat!
That one I've used for probably since the beginning of college, but I wanted to try changing things up. And I have heard a lot of good things about this Abib essence. This one is a lot lighter. The green tea seed serum is a little bit more viscous. I think this one has been good to just quickly absorb into my skin. So after that, I usually go in with this wrinkle eye cream from Innisfree. I only started using this because when I went to the Innisfree shop in Gangnam to get more green tea seed serum, I thought, oh, I should start investing in eye cream because you can never be too young to take preventative measures so you don't get all old and wrinkly like a leather bag when you grow up. I can't tell if it's working. I used to use this other, I forgot what it was called, but it's this lighter, more liquidy eye thing that usually you're supposed to use before this, but I ran out and I didn't want to pay more money to buy another one. I might stop using it once I run out and try to see if there's anything new I want to try. Next, I use this Effaclar Duo from La Roche-Posay. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but this has been a pretty big brand. And I have seen this a lot on TikTok too. I usually put this on the spots where I get more blemishes. So obviously here, because this is where I get all my pimples. I usually tend to get pimples too on my forehead area. Like I have one right here. I also get pimples around this upper part of my lip. After that, I go in with this Dr. Jart Cicapair cream that's supposed to soothe irritated skin. I don't put a lot because I'm pretty frugal. Put it around my cheek area and usually where I get the most redness on my skin, and then any extra I kind of just slide along the other parts of my face. Honestly, sometimes I think my skin was better before I moved to Korea, surprisingly. Maybe because my skin was so used to the California air. Or maybe it's because I was less stressed. Because I was just doing nothing and living at home and not having to worry about working.
Born to slay, forced to work.
Usually the last part of my nighttime routine, this CeraVe. You cannot find this in Korea, so the last time Ray and Allison went to America, I just shipped this to Ray's place and then I asked them to just bring it back in their luggage. I've seen it a lot on TikTok, but this is a good, very just general moisturizer. Some people only use this and nothing else if they're lazy. I really like how it just seeps into your skin. It's thick, but it's not too thick. One tip, ring finger is your weakest finger. That's why I usually just tap my eye area if I have any product that I need to put on my eyes, because your eye skin is very sensitive and you don't want to be too rough with it. Always make sure to also put product on your neck as well, because the neck skin is the most difficult to reverse aging, and so you really have to take preventative measures to make sure she don't wrinkle. So be very generous with your neck area as well. I feel like a lot of people tend to just ignore or forget, especially with sun cream too. There goes most of my nighttime skincare routine, and now I'm just going to do some everyday makeup. What time is it? I think I have to leave soon. Where did my phone go? I need to pee. There's a lot going on right now. This is very chaotic. Oh, I have 5 minutes to get ready. Anyway, some things that were on my mind that I wanted to talk about. Since it's the new year, I think it's very important that I do a better job of managing my friendships as well as making new ones. But obviously, I feel like there's a certain threshold that you reach. Once you pass that threshold, you can't expend any more energy into relationships or friendships without sacrificing the friendships you already have. And unfortunately, I think that means you either have to cap yourself or reevaluate, are certain friends, should you keep them? Which sounds really horrible, but I think when I mean should you keep certain friends, it's not totally cutting them off, but it's more like, do I want to continually try to grow this relationship? Because you can still be on good terms and be friends with them and hang out with them every once in a while, but I feel like there always has to be a select few that you should continue to grow and invest your time and energy into, because those are the friends that ideally should stick around for a long time and want to be in your like very close friends group where you can go to them for anything and they can go to you for anything. I saw this TikTok recently. It was talking about how to know when to cut off a friendship, and I'm very bad at this because I'm a people pleaser and I just want everyone to like me and I just want everyone to be happy, but I need to do a better job of setting those boundaries for myself. What this TikTok was talking about was, if they only like you or are friends with the version of yourself that they first met and not the version of yourself who you are now, then they're not a friend worth keeping. At first, I was very confused about what this person was saying, but now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. I do have some friends who I made at a certain point in my life, but now I'm very different from when I first met them. Some of them, they do a really good job of respecting my boundaries and respecting the growth I've done, especially since I've moved to Korea. Even if I see them again, they kind of adapt to the new me, but also at the same time, it's really nice because it feels like no time has passed between us and that we're still just as close as ever while also continuing to build that relationship. On the other hand, I do know people who they still treat me the same as when they first met me. For example, if I met somebody when I was at a very low point in my life and they continue to treat me like I'm having a problem, it kind of makes me feel like I think recently there have been people who have done that to me and I've been very frustrated and stressed, because if you're trying to become a better version of yourself and pull yourself out of a very low point, you don't want people to continue to treat you like you have a problem, because then it's really hard for you to break out of that mentality. When I hang around those types of people, I just don't feel comfortable, and even some of the things they say sometimes rub me the wrong way. And now I feel like I'm going through those low points again, even though externally everything in my life is a lot better than at the time I was feeling those low points. I'm just kind of afraid I'm going to go down that rabbit hole that I was in before. That really was not a good time for me. I think just the moral is, because I do this too sometimes. A lot of the times when you get comfortable with someone and you get to know them, you start making jokes and it's all fun and games. And maybe some of those jokes are about some mistakes they've made in the past, or something that is not so flattering about them that they need to work on, or something that is an insecurity. And yes, you're close friends. I guess you kind of build that trust to be able to joke about those things. But if the sole interaction of your friendship is just on each other the whole time whenever you talk to them, even if it's like 75, 80, 90% of the time, that's just sad. Like, you really have nothing else to talk about. While your friends are supposed to be the real ones and they should be honest with you, I don't think you need to joke about your insecurities or your flaws, just negative things all the time. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, you need to do it in moderation, because you don't know how your words are affecting your friends, and maybe it is just making them feel very horrible about themselves and you don't even know, and you think it's just a joke. And I think this is just a very big problem in general that not a lot of people address. A lot of it does start from like our self-deprecating culture. I used to be very bad at this and I've gotten a lot better, but I still kind of go back to my old habits. But I definitely used to just make a bunch of jokes that only focused around putting myself down. The more I said those things, the more I started to live it and believe it, and it was just hard to ever be positive or confident in myself at all. And so when your friends are doing that too, it really doesn't help you pull yourself out of that. Again, like, we're friends, we're close, but if that's all your friends joke about and that's all they talk about around you, then that's not really a healthy friendship. I think it's really time for me to take those kinds of people in my life and just either like be honest and say, hey, like, I think you're kind of crossing the line when you joke about this stuff all the time, or I just have to cut them off whether I like it or not, because it hasn't been good for my mental health. If your friends just want a court jester, they can watch some variety shows, because that is not your job to be somebody's entertainment, unless they pay for it, of course. I just don't want that energy anymore in 2023. Oh my gosh, this pimple is... The good thing is, I'm usually shorter than everyone else, so they're not gonna be able to see under my chin anyway, but I'll just do it just in case. Also, on one of my previous videos, it was the one I posted right before New Year's about me regretting kind of the things I haven't been able to do in my life, like pursuing my dreams to be a K-pop idol and stuff. I just want to say thank you so much for all of the very supportive comments. And I know I sounded very hypocritical because I was saying like, oh, follow your dreams, but then I also said in my own comment that, oh, I think the window of opportunity for me has passed to be a K-pop idol. If there is kind of another window of opportunity, I will go for it. But as of right now, it is also kind of logistically impossible because a lot of companies won't even let me audition because they have an age cutoff. I think some opportunities definitely do have a time limit. Yes, you can keep trying, and in an ideal world, I would keep trying, but right now, I just don't have the time to invest in that. But I also need to worry about money, making money at my other job, paying rent. And so all of those variables, they just make it extremely difficult for me to even think about pursuing being a K-pop idol at this age. But I think for now, I really just want to focus on YouTube and just finding out more about myself and what I want to do and all of those things. So thank you guys so much for encouraging me and telling me things like, oh, don't give up. But that should not stop you from chasing your dreams. So please don't give up on your own dreams. I need to take this knot out of my nose. Okay, that's good. But yeah, I have been thinking a lot about my channel. I still don't know what direction I'm going. I feel like a lot of YouTubers, they always have like two kind of things, right? Like they're a vlogger, but they also focus a lot on skincare and they're very involved in that world. Maybe they also play video games and are really good at that. For me, I mean, there are a lot of things I want to try and do, but I just don't know if I have time. And maybe if YouTube does become a more stable form of income and I'm able able to quit my job, I will be able to pursue those other things. But for now, I'm just trying to keep myself afloat. Something else I've learned this past year, I really enjoy being by myself. And that's not all the time. I need alone time, especially after work, because it's just so draining. I don't think I always saw the value of being alone because I always wanted to be with other people. Oh, short. I've realized after my Vlogmas series, my body has become quite dependent on caffeine. It's just been really hard to kind of wean myself off it. And I've been trying to switch to drinking tea, so I drink peppermint tea every day, and then I try to drink chamomile tea before I sleep. But some things are just not the same. Fun fact, so basically I was born on December 24th, which is Christmas Eve. Yay, so exciting, cool, whatever. The day I was born, they put me in a stocking, because I was like an almost Christmas baby, but my parents didn't take any photos of it. I'm just really sad because I kind of would have wanted that as a memory. I'm just gonna have to believe that what they said is true. Oh lord, that didn't apply well. I also got to take a dump. So today when I took a shower, I didn't wash my hair.
Disgusting.
I try to wash my hair every other day, otherwise it gets really dry. But fortunately, I don't have a lot of odor, so my hair doesn't smell bad. If I don't wash my hair that day and I still want to style it somehow, I use this perfect styling serum. So I just spread a pump of it, rub it in my hands, and then just kind of run it through my hair.
Are you a weird little freak?
Yes, of course.
I don't really use this super often though, but I really like the smell. It's kind of like one of those Bath and Body Works flowery scents. I don't know why, my hair is just not giving today. This is the final look. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next part of my skincare routine. Good morning.
Zooby zooby zoo.
You're right, we are not the same.
I was out pretty late last night. So now I'm gonna go over my day routine, except for one thing that's a little bit different. Usually I do all the cleansing stuff at night, but because I didn't get to wash my face last night, I'm just gonna do all of that right now instead. First, I use this Clean Zero cleansing balm from Vanilla Co. I saw my friend using this. I thought it was really interesting the way it applies. You just take a little from the container and you just put it on your hand like this and then rub until it turns into an oil. Usually just apply all over. The whole point is to get very deep into your pores and bring out all of that dirt and gunk. I try to get my eyelid area as well because there can be a lot of stuff that gets stuck there. After I finish rubbing, I use another cleanser. It's this Senka Perfect Whip cleanser. I think it was like Jungkook from BTS uses it, and at one point it was sold out everywhere because everyone tried to buy them. Well, this was on sale at Olive Young, so I decided to get it because there's been some hype around it. But I heard that it's very, very acidic, so it's not really good for all skin types. And honestly, this might be the reason why my skin's breaking out. I switched to this from the La Roche cleanser because I feel like the La Roche one wasn't really doing anything. I usually just put a little bit of water on my hands and then just squirt. I saw this one TikTok where this person said you're not supposed to wet your face when you use cleanser. You're actually supposed to just rub it onto your hands and apply it dry. And I'm kind of skeptical. I've been testing this out recently. I like the feeling of it being very soapy when it's wet. When it's dry, it feels like it's just not doing anything. Wow, it looks like the product just went into my skin because it's dry. I actually need to take a shower. So after I take a shower, I will go over the rest. Now that I finished taking a shower, it's time to go over my daytime skincare routine, which is a lot simpler than my nighttime one, mainly because, you know, night is when your skin barrier is repairing itself, and in the day, I don't really put as much just stuff. So going back to the toner, just gonna slap this on very quick. while I was out last night, I wore my short padding that I bought around like 2 weeks ago, and I took it off just because it was really hot inside. We went to multiple places. At one of them, I guess I just forgot to bring it with me. I spent an hour looking for it, and then next I'm going in with the Abib Heartleaf essence, and eventually I just gave up and went home cold. But I'm very surprised how well I can just get home by myself when I'm drunk. I always feel like I have this survival instinct that kicks in when I really need it to. I didn't even call a taxi. I think it was around 5 a.m. so the buses started running again. At one point I did get off at the wrong stop when I had to transfer.
It's gonna be a really rough 2023 for you.
But then luckily I was able to find another bus that went towards the direction of my home. I remember this one time I took the bus to go back home, but I was just really tired, so I ended up falling asleep, and I took the bus to the last stop. Fortunately, it's not that far away from where I live, but it was a hassle to get back home, especially when you're just really tired after a long night. Yeah, maybe this year I need to cut back on the going out. I want to focus more on just doing more meaningful things. Not that it's not fun and meaningful to spend time with my friends and go out. I'm tired of just that feeling of the day after, you're spending the whole day recovering. Usually the last step. So I use this Misha waterproof sun milk, but I really like how it applies. The only thing I don't like about it is that on this cap, there's like paint on it, but over time it gets all flaky and scratches off, and so whenever I have to take the cap off, it just gets on my fingers, and then it's a hassle because I need to put the sunscreen on my face. But it's very liquidy, but because it's so liquidy, it absorbs into the skin very quickly, and it also doesn't leave that much white cast, which is something that I really dislike in sunscreen, because usually you're just spending 5 minutes rubbing into your face rather than this one. Obviously make sure to put a lot on your neck, and then usually at the end I finish up with a sun stick just for that double protection. Lately I've been using the AHC sun stick. I used to use the Innisfree one, but that one was pretty expensive for the amount you get. Just apply it everywhere. After I finish that, I just pat it into my skin, because sometimes it can get a little bit streaky, so you have to be careful. If I have time, I try to reapply this throughout the day, because you are supposed to reapply sunscreen. Definitely sun sticks are a great option for reapplying because it's much less hassle than any kind of liquid sunscreen, and it's also very compact and convenient to carry around. This is not sponsored, by the way. I've been trying to be more consistent about using lip balm, especially since it's winter. I've just been using this Aquaphor one that my sister got me before I came to Korea. Oh, one last final thing. Whenever I take a shower, I put on this jojoba oil. I've noticed that my hair has strangely gotten a lot drier. I think it's because I get it permed so often that it tends to get split ends, so it really needs some kind of treatment, especially for my scalp. My sister got me this jojoba oil, and I really love it because it makes my hair feel very just soft, and also the scent is very calming. It feels like I'm putting on some kind of incense, but I usually just try to rub it into my scalp. I heard especially you want to get the tips so that the product really seeps in. And since I only wash my hair every other day, I don't use it every day, but I found that even the scent lasts a pretty long time. So if I apply it now in the morning, it'll last probably until the next morning. And yeah, that's pretty much my entire skincare routine.